Hello everyone and welcome to another video Dvar right here from BMH-BJ with Rabbi Chaitovsky. This week's Torah portion, a very fascinating Torah portion, and it begins with a fascinating and mysterious kind of law, a law that gives a name to an entire category of mitzvot in the Torah. It says, Zot Chukat HaTorah. This is the statute or the pronouncement, the legal pronouncement of the hoke of the Torah that Moses is supposed to command to the Jewish people, and it involves the ritual of the red heifer, the para aduma. And commentators have spent much time describing the ins and outs of the red heifer, and it's interesting that in their struggle to find meaning and a reason, a rationale for the mitzvot, for this particular mitzvah, the commentators have diverged greatly, because this is such a mysterious kind of law. It has a built-in irony that it is supposed to be a ritual of purification, and that the person who came in contact with someone who had died in order to become pure again, needed to have the ashes of a totally red cow sprinkled on him. It was a mixture with water and other ingredients, and this sprinkling of the ashes from the red heifer was supposed to purify the person. But the irony was that in the process of preparing the mixture that would purify the impure person, the otherwise pure individual would be rendered impure. So this is a bit of a conundrum, and the Gemara talks about this, and many commentators talk about this, and they say, well, what do you expect? This is the classic hoke. And what do I mean by that, as the classic hoke? What is a hoke? A hoke is very often interpreted or taken to mean a mitzvah that does not have any immediately apparent rationale. And the people who use this explanation, and I'm going to use it as well, but the people who use this explanation then go on to offer other examples of chukim in the Torah. And one of the examples of another chok in the Torah is the law of shatnez, the law of mixing wool and linen. We're not supposed to wear clothing made of wool and linen. And it seems to be a very unusual and mysterious kind of law. No rationale for that law is given in the Torah. And the other chok that everyone mentions is the law of kashrut. The very fact that there are simply foods that we can and cannot eat for no other reason than than one has a split hoof and one doesn't, or one has scales and fins and the others do not. I mean, again, no real rationale given for why we have to keep kosher, no real rationale given for why we have to desist from wearing clothing made of wool and linen, yet the rabbis were able to find heaps and heaps of reasons why these laws should be meaningful, especially in the realm of kashrut. It has to do with discipline, it has to do with being different, it has to do with making ourselves holy, it's a matter of distinction. There's ethical implications of keeping kosher, all sorts of rationales. The rabbis were not as successful at doing that with this law of the red heifer. And if you read some of the commentaries, you'll see their own personal struggle, especially the Sefer HaChinuch, who openly admits that while I'm usually able to provide insight into the reason for a commandment, in this particular case, I really don't have anything to say. So what can we possibly say about this mysterious commandment? And I think that that's what we have to say, that it is a mysterious commandment. And we have to look at the context. It comes right on the heels of the Torah portion of Korach. And we know from our exploration at other times that Korach's main challenges to Moshe had to do with logic and the incomprehensibility of the system of laws in the Torah, at least as far as Korach was concerned. And the Midrash says that Korach would challenge Moshe about various laws. For instance, the law of the tzitzit, that occurred just one parsha earlier. He says, you're supposed to have one string of blue, of techelet in your tzitzit. If I have an entire garment made of that techelet, do I still need tzitzit? And Moses said, yeah, you do. And Korach's response was, that's not logical. That's just not reasonable. It doesn't make any sense. And no one would abide by laws like that, and many others like that defy our logic. So in the very next Torah portion, God presents a mitzvah that is about as irrational and as illogical as you could possibly get. The law of the red heifer. We understand its purpose, but we don't really understand how it works, and we don't understand why it works. Why does it render one person pure while it makes the other person impure? This defies logic. And that may be the entire purpose of the law. Judaism, religion in general, life, is only interesting because it has a little bit of mystery in it. And while we don't often like mystery, we don't often like not knowing, especially in this information age, sometimes we have to shrug our shoulders and say, I just don't know. The question is, what is our reaction to a law like that? What does it do to the rest of the Torah? Are we willing to suspend our disbelief, so to speak, and buy into the total program, and not let the foundations of the program crumble because of this one seemingly irrational law? Or are we going to be more like Korach and others who, because of one little inconsistency and one little irrationality, are going to dismiss the entire system? It says, Zot Chukat HaTorah, almost as if meaning, this is the cardinal hoke of the Torah. If you can buy into the mystery, if you can put up with the mystery, and if you can understand that it probably has a place of honor within the entire system, and not throw out the rest of the system simply because we cannot understand this one little thing. So this mitzvah right now is not blinking. I often talk about Christmas lights, how certain mitzvot, just certain verses in the Torah, they blink on and on for us because it's that time of the year where we just instinctively understand them. This may be a mitzvah that's not quite blinking on and off for us, and maybe it's just totally off right now. But it's part of the system, and it's a test of our mettle. Can we buy into the system? Rav Samson Raphael Hirsch said that chukim are the ultimate test of our loyalty, simply because they defy logic. And it is my hope and prayer that in spite of the mystery, in spite of the lack of logic that we can readily discern in this mitzvah, we will not throw out the rest of the system. We will continue to do our best to keep the Torah, to live by the Torah, and to make it part of our lives each and every day. Shabbat Shalom.